Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lit for Queers. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Sarah, and I usually talk about queer books on this channel, but I've started this series talking about queer news coming from all over the world, and this issue covers February 2025. So, going over to Europe, we have Germany. Queer people and supporters poured over the streets days ahead of the big national election, which was predicted to see a rise in support for the AfD, the national right wing party. For years, rights campaigners have come up against the far right AfD and its opposition to marriage equality, safe community spaces, and access to healthcare and reproductive justice. On the last Sunday of February, so just a few days ago, the polls did indeed see a surge in support for the AfD, with people giving them 20% of votes. Going over to South Africa, on the 15th of February, the world's first openly gay imam was killed in South Africa, where he ran a mosque intended as a safe haven for gay and other marginalized Muslims. While the police have not released a statement confirming this was a hate crime, they did confirm it was a targeted killing. Hendricks, involved in various LGBTQ advocacy groups, came out as gay in 1996. 2 years later, he started hosting meetings in his home city for LGBTQ Muslims who treated him like their community imam. I opened my garage, put a carpet down, and invited people to have tea and talk. That's what he told The Guardian in 2022. In 2011, Hendricks bolstered his role as an imam figure by setting up a mosque space after a friend endured a local sermon condemning homosexuality. Going over to the US, there's never any good news really coming from the US, unfortunately. We see that the day before Valentine's Day, the National Park Service eliminated all references to trans people from its website for the Stonewall National Monument. The monument commemorates a 1969 riot outside New York City's historic Stonewall Inn, led by trans women of color, which ignited the contemporary gay rights movement. This act of erasure follows Trump's executive orders, which aim to define gender as only being male and female and not provide any space for any type of non-conforming gender expression. Activists, queer people, and queer organizations all around the countries and the world released statements condemning the act. Following up on Trump's order, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission moves to withdraw cases that conflict with Trump's order on two sexes. This means that multiple cases of sexual harassment and discrimination against trans and or gender nonconforming workers in different states of the US have been dismissed on the basis of Trump's mandate. The request to dismiss the cases marks a significant shift in the Commission's interpretation of civil rights law and also contrasts with a 2015 ruling that determined that discrimination against trans people and trans employees fell under federal sex discrimination law. On a slightly, but just slightly better note, we have this last piece of news which comes out of the US, as you can see. So, Trump's directive restricting healthcare for trans youth was placed on hold after families and medical providers sue over access to gender affirming care. A federal judge blocked Trump's orders in mid February in a win for trans youth and their families. Trump's policy, one of a slew of anti-LGBTQ orders during his first month in office, dictated that federal funding should be revoked from hospitals and clinics that provide gender-affirming care to youth under the age of 19. The order targeted hormone therapy and puberty blockers, which are considered vitals for trans patients prescribed these treatments. And the worst part of it all is also that even in blue states with laws defending trans rights and youth access to gender affirming care, some institutions immediately paused treatment, including in New York, Colorado, Virginia, California, and Washington, D.C. So, as I said, this was the last piece of news that I could find that happened in or was released in February 2025. So I really wanted to end on a more positive note today, as we don't seem to be getting any better news these days. But as always, we know that queer people and especially trans people are here to stay. Doesn't matter how hard a government is making it out to be to just exist. They won't squash people's existence out with hate or bigotry. So our support goes out to all the people that are affected by these senseless hate. As always, I leave links down below. If you want to add any news stories, feel free to do so in the comments so that everybody can stay educated and informed. And until next time, and hopefully we will have better news by the end of March. Bye!